Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to this week's edition of the Beating Heart Moment. I'm Fred Johnson. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, da, 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 yeah, 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 da, 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 yeah, yeah, da, 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 Listen, listen, listen and feel. Listen to the rhythm of your beating heart. Listen just with your ears. Listen with the fullness of your inner being. Listen, listen to the beautiful rhythm. Feel the rhythm of your beating heart. Listen, listen to the song of your breath. Listen, listen to the song of your breath. Listen to the song of your breath and feel the rhythm of your beating heart. Listen and feel. Listen and feel. Listen, listen to the rhythm of your beating heart. Listen to the song of your breath, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Listen and feel the song of your breath. Listen and feel the rhythm of your beating heart. Listen, listen to the song of the breath. Listen, listen, and feel the rhythm of your beating heart. So, this week, I want to share a thought with you and invite you to have this be your intentionality for the week. Certainly, uh, lots of conversation, some of it in my head during the course of this past week. So much going on in the world, lots of things to think about in the doing of the world and what's going on in the world. And I've had a number of situations where people just said, it's just seems like so much going on. It just, every day it's a new thing. Every day there's some foundation for uncertainty. The world right now is really a pretty wild place. I guess it has always been, but these days it seems like there are lots and lots and lots of unknowns and things that can affect our lives that we may often feel like we don't really have a lot of control over. And over the weekend, I was with some friends and family, and the concept of just wanting to have some peace uh, came up, just, and what does that mean? What is that sense of peace? I think in many instances it helps us to find a centeredness or to find a place, not in, beyond maybe the noise. And I did some reading, and it was about breath. And we talk about the song of the breath, and it has always, for me, there's always been this striking sense of calm uh, in my breath and in my breathing, and I always have kind of equated it to the calm feeling that we get between the inhale and the exhale, and the knowingness that our breath is our life source. So again, when we talk about that beautiful sort of triangle of healing, the breath, right, our foundation, and then our thinking or our knowingness, the frequency and vibration of our thinking that I speak into. This is good for me. This is my life source. And then the sound and frequency of the breath and tone as it moves through the body. And so, I want to share this with you. This is a really, really beautiful concept that I read. Um, and it talked about the significance of the center point where the breath turns from the inhale to the exhale. And I know for me, so often in my life, that sort of what I call the stillness point, that shift is like, it's so powerful. It's almost like I always talk about the pause. But it says that at the turning point, the breath briefly stops on its own. So there's no effort, no movement, just a moment of suspension. And that this can often be described as like stillness or a gap between doing and not doing. And when I read that, I was like, oh my goodness, that gap between doing and not doing. It's like breathing in, nothing, breathing out. But there's a peace in that place, and it's not something that we do. It's a moment where the body isn't actively taking in or letting go. It's in that place of still peace. And so I meditated on that throughout the rest of the weekend, and it's so powerful and so beautiful. And so it really gave me an opportunity, again, because we talk about the breath, and of course we experience the breath in every moment, but this beautiful pool, right, or pond of stillness that is that center point between the breath in and the breath out. And it's not something that we do, right? It's not it's that point where there's the nothing place but the everything place, and there's a stillness there. And for me, I think that helps me to define or understand the great reality of peace that exists in the middle point between the inhale and the exhale. And so how can that be helpful for us? It can be helpful for us in every moment. It's almost like, and again, in one of our past weeks, we talked about this sense of being centered, right? Or allowing ourselves to be present, to be in a place of presence. And excuse me, in the last week, I just got over a little bit of a cold. So in that period of time where creation guided me to take some time to kind of focus on me for health and wellness, something that I try to do, but obviously we can always do that better. And sometimes some little bacteria comes along or something comes along to slow us down for a moment. So I was already kind of in that pensive place because it dropped into my chest a little bit. So I was, again, more conscious of my breathing because it was a little labored. But then, oftentimes, the creative energy of the universe will guide us into a lesson that is so valuable as a source of remembrance, but also valuable as a source of understanding in the application of breath and being, just in being. And so what I want to invite you to do this week is to consider this, is to consider the peace, the stillness, the complete sort of oneness connection between the breathing in and the breathing out, but just to experience it. You're not doing it, you're experiencing it, right? So again, it says that at that point between the inhale and the exhale, there's this still place of peace. And so I'm going to do this for the week, and I encourage you this week to let's allow our intention to be an acknowledgement of that still place of peace that abides between the breathing in and the breathing out. Not to make it be something, just acknowledge it. It's there. It's there in every moment. What we're given the opportunity is to recognize that the value in that, right? The value in that continuation of that sentence of breath being, that there's a brief pause, and in that pause there's peace, there's stillness, there's the nothingness that unites the in and the out, that completes our breath sentence. So let's just take a moment, and I invite you to close your eyes if it feels right for you, and just again, as we listen to and feel the song of the breath, allow yourself just to breathe. Don't try to make it be any, just experience it. Be the observer. Just be the observer here. And let's breathe in like maybe 4 conscious breaths, and just realize sort of the fullness of this breath sentence that at its midpoint has this beautiful circle of stillness and peace. All right? And just do it on your own. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So as the world kind of swirls around us, we're in this beautiful breath song. But now we understand that in this breath song now, the breath, the inhale and the exhale, that there's this beautiful still place. And so let's allow ourselves, and again, we're not doing anything differently. We're observing and recognizing that in the observation, there's this beautiful thing that happens that we don't have to make happen. Excuse me, it's there for us, right? It's there for us to feel and acknowledge and just recognize that. When I was studying classical theater and classical mime, and we were, I spent a number of 7 years of my life outside of the world, or adjacent to the world of sound, and studied classical mime, this beautiful classical theatrical art form of gesture. And one of the first lessons that you learn is that in gesture, in gesture, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. To every gesture, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And there's breath, and there's the breath in that sentence, right? In the beginning, if I'm reaching to touch you, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. A complete sentence. And so our complete breath sentence is the inhalation, the still place, the exhalation, right? The breath in, the space of still nothingness, perfection, and then the exhale. So to know that aligning our mind with our being is a really beautiful thing. So as we speak about, and as we wish ourselves into and desire ourselves into a place of peace, to recognize that in every breath that we take, that there's a still point, a center point of stillness, completeness, that helps to complete that passageway through the inhale and the exhale, right? Again, this beautiful, there's the taking in and the letting go. But between the taking in and the letting go is this beautiful pool of stillness that completes the sentence, but it completes us in this breath journey. So I want you to be conscious, as I always say, of your breath, but to acknowledge, kind of be in gratitude in an expanded way now, as we breathe through our week, to recognize that there's this taking in and letting go. And in between, there's this beautiful pool of stillness, Oh gosh, I mean, I'd love. I'm gonna allow that. I'm gonna think about that this week, and I wonder what that looks like. I love to do some abstract art, some abstract painting, but I'm gonna call it that little pond of stillness that exists between the breathing in and the breathing out. I think many of our master teachers also, again, as we think and as we imagine, it helps to bring beauty. It helps to bring our natural medicines of our body into coherence and to allowing themselves to be active and perfect in that which they've been called to give us in our body. So Here's the prompt, the invite for this week is to, as you breathe, to really be conscious that stillness and peace abides in that small pool space of stillness and peace between our taking in and our letting go or sending back our breath. That therein abides the peace, that there's peace, there's that peace moment, that connection moment of where we have to do nothing but just move through it. So to know that peace begins within us, but that framing and understanding of the concept of peace can also, our scientists and researchers help us to realize, can help to give us a place of stillness, a place of peace. And of course, we know that the frequency and vibration of our voice can help to enhance that. So here's the full measure of our practice for this week. I invite you to, for just a minute or so, to just listen to the song of the breath and feel the beautiful stillness. Just observe it as it happens. You don't have to do anything. Just as we move from the taking in of the breath to the letting go of the breath, to recognize that ocean of stillness that exists there in the midst. And of course, we know that, so that aligns our breath with our thinking. Just, observing the beautiful flow of the breath in, breath out, with that little ocean of stillness and peace there, breathing through in every moment, the taking in and the returning of that, accentuated experience through that middle place of nothingness where abides all that is needed to complete our breath cycle. And then return to a remembrance of our beautiful Sankofic mantra, E Thu Pa. E Thu Pa. Remember, E Thu Pa. Moves through the body beautifully. Most importantly, connects to the vagus nerve and helps to bring forth a sense to our nervous system, a sense of calm and safety, right? So the acknowledgement and observation of the beautiful song of the breath, with that center pool space between the taking in and the letting go, there where stillness abides, where peace abides. So the visualization and knowingness of that, and then allow yourself maybe even 3 times to just E Thu Pa. And remember the Sankofic meaning, E Thu Pa, is to be in presence, to be fully present in this perfect moment. Through the breath song and that beautiful little oasis, I'm going to call it that oasis of stillness, combined in every breath with the acknowledgement and the bringing forth of the frequency and vibration of your own beautiful voice. E Thu Pa. So let's practice. We'll do 4 breaths of observation and then 3 E Thu Pa. All right, here we go. E Thu Pa. E Thu Pa. E Thu Pa. E Thu Pa. I breathe in, I am present in this perfect moment. I breathe in, I breathe out, and I observe the beautiful oasis of stillness that exists in every breath that I take, completing the taking in and letting go and sending back with this beautiful, peaceful pool of stillness that creation gives us in every moment. Be with your breath this week. Be with the song of the breath. Remember to acknowledge the beating heart. Allow yourself a through pa, or I am in this perfect moment. I breathe into this perfect moment. E thu pa. Have a great week. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm like energized. I'm feeling that. That's so beautiful. And I'm so glad I moved through that little cold thing. All right. Have a fantastic week. We'll gather again at the beginning of next week. E thu pa. Be in this perfect moment. Breathe in, breathe out, and celebrate the still place of peace between the breath in and the breath out. Have a great week. Take care.